What is the difference between color correction and color grading? This was a question that used to bother me a few years back when I was barely learning these things and I had no idea which was what. Today, to answer that very question, I took my camera out and started walking randomly on the street to find a B-roll and to shoot this video for you guys. With that being said, what's up guys, Anubhav here. Welcome back to a brand new video here on this channel. As always, before we start, if you guys like the content on this channel, feel free to check out my Instagram page from the first link in the description below. In case you guys like the pictures that you see and you want to know what's going on in the behind the scenes sections of this channel, feel free to give it a follow and let me know, or drop a DM, whatever you want. With that being said, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and let's get started. Okay guys, first things first, I'd like to differentiate color grading from color correction. Now, both color grading and correction come under the same roof of post-production or editing, and while a couple of editors always use them synonymously all the time, referring to one thing by calling it something else, they're actually two entirely different concepts. The first concept that we are talking about is color correction. Now, the definition is in the name itself. Color correction is nothing but correcting your footage to its most accurate representation. Now, whenever we shoot outside with whatever camera or whichever place that you're shooting at, there is always a probability of messing something up. Now, whether it's the ISO, the white balance, or the exposure, or anything that falls under the wide plethora of what you are shooting, color correcting enables you to correct all of these things in post-production to ensure that you have a cohesive shot. Now, another place where color correction is extremely important is the fact that when you go out for all-day shoots or when you're shooting for a couple of days, the conditions while you're shooting throughout the day change because of the change in position of the sun and the lighting conditions around you. For this reason, to ensure continuity and have a cohesive color palette, color correction is required to achieve more of a refined look that is constant and continuous among all of your clips which you deliver to a final client, or when you compile all of them together to make a video. In that case, it's more of a necessity, especially whenever you're shooting in a flat profile or a neutral profile. The colors are really washed out and they give you greater control when you boost them up in post-production. So color correction is something that is extremely important, and I'd say it is way more important than grading, and a skill that every editor should have at least some idea or perspective about, because chances are you will not have perfect lighting all the time, especially if you're a vlogger or if you do run and the gun shoots. So having a little bit of knowledge about color correction is extremely important. And now that you guys know what color correction means, let's move on to color grading. Okay, so now we come into color grading. Now, color grading for me personally is a much higher end process compared to color correction, which is pretty simple and pretty easy to do. On the other hand, grading also gives you a lot of added flexibility and freedom to what you can control in your shot or in your video. It is mostly done for aesthetic or cinematic purposes, and it's not a necessity at all. It's really up to you if you want to do it or not. Personally though, I feel if you do know color grading properly and you can implement it in a proper way, it can improve your video by a large margin. But then again, that's just me. There are a lot of video creators who never color grade. They like the real life accurate representation and that works fine for them. But I'm just on the other side of the board and I like to make or color grade my footage in a certain way. Now keep in mind, color grade has nothing to do with the actual representation of what you are actually seeing while you are shooting with your camera. It's mostly used to set a mood or a tone to the entire video or convey a story. It is used as a storytelling element, and that is why it is so creative compared to color correction. You can literally color grade a footage into anything you want as long as you are fine with it, because it's your footage and it's your story and it's your shot. So on that hand, color grade is much more loose and flexible compared to color correction, which has to be accurate. But then again, a lot of people misuse color grade by just oversaturating their images by adding random LUTs, which I'll get to in a minute. But then again, color grading, I think, think is then again not a necessity, but if you know how to do it right and if you want to learn more about it, then I think it can improve your videos by a very, very large margin. So that is color grading. Now for me, color grading and color correction go both hand in hand, with color correction taking first and grading taking next. Now keep in mind, it's not necessary for you to color grade. As I said, it's totally up to you. And even if you do it, if somebody else has a different opinion about it, it really shouldn't bother you that much, because there's no right way to color grade. It changes with every shot, it changes with people's opinions, and there's really no right grade for your footage. It's totally up to you. Whatever you think looks good and feels good and helps in conveying the point of the video that you want to put across, that's totally fine with it. And now that we've talked about what color grading is and what color correction is and have explained the differences between them, you guys need to understand they are both part of the same tree, but they are separate branches. So well, they are under the same color panel or the post-production part of colorist or color editing. They are two very different things. I think the best way to conclude my point would be to say that color correction is showing your viewers the accurate picture or what you saw when you were with your camera and shooting, and color grading is putting across a point or showing your viewers what you want to make them feel while watching a particular part of the video. And well, I think that's all I wanted to cover in today's video. Just wanted to talk about color grading, color correction, since I'm incredibly passionate about these two aspects of post-production. With that being said, if you guys like the video, feel free to leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel, let me know what you thought about it, share it if that's your thing. And yeah, follow me on Instagram and on Twitter. With that being said, this is Anubhav signing out. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Until then, have a great day. Peace out.